What's good with it, y'all? It's your boy Santo G, back at it. You already know, spreading unity, prosperity, and respect. But above all, if you're new here, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell. That way you're notified when I drop future content. So today, before I get into this video, let me just shout out my sponsors. Big shout out to Killer Kush. If you guys want some of that bomb exotic za, get at my good people at Killer Kush. They gonna get you right. I also want to give a big shout out to Hadar Extracts. If you guys want some top of the line wax, rosin, pins, stuff like that, get at my good people at Hadar Extracts, man. I also want to shout out Frenchie Kennels. If you guys need a top of the line pup, anything that has to do with dogs, breeding, any type of information, they got top of the line Frenchies, they got miniature pinchers, they got a lot of variety, shots up to date, paperwork in hand, and they got good prices, man. Just let them know your boy Santo G sent you and they gonna get you right. And last but not least, man, a big shout out to my people at Cali Herbs Los Angeles. Get at them on Instagram at Cali Herbs Official. They gonna get you right. Top of the line Zaw, wax, hash, everything and anything you need, man. That's who I go to personally for my wax. So today I just wanted to share the story of the homie Demon from Junior Mafia. You know what I mean? R.I.P. my boy, long live my boy, man. And his story is crazy, man, because I was with him in juvenile hall when I was fighting life. Before I got sentenced, I was with him in Unit Y. And the homie Demon was a white homie. You know what I mean? He was a white boy, but he was from a homie gang. The homie Demon from Junior Mafia, from out there in Bell Gardens, I think Bell. But that was the dog, man. Like, that was my boy. He was right there in the compound with me, and he ended up going home. He was one of the very few people that walked out. But it's crazy because he ended up going home, but not even a few months later, he ended up getting killed on the streets. And his story is crazy because I actually spoke to him. The day that he passed away and all that happened, I spoke to him. You guys trip out on this story. So I'm in Unit Y with the homie Demon. Shout out my Celi Armando. He knows, you know what I mean? Me and him were talking about the homie, and that's how all this came back. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna share it with you guys. I know this will be one that is gonna bring awareness, man, because you think by him going home it saved his life, but it actually was the opposite. I think if he would have gotten a little bit of time, that wouldn't have happened to him, you know what I mean? But only God knows why things happen, you know what I'm saying? And it's a sad, unfortunate events, but he was busted for carjacking and some stuff like that, but they ended up dropping it, and he ended up going home. So he goes home, I don't even think nothing of it no more, you know what I mean? Like, you see people come and go. But like I said, right there in Unit Y, if you were there in 2008, 2009, I left in January of 2010. I got there in like March of 08, and I left in January 2010. So if you were there around those times, you know me. If you bought some bud, some top of the line saw, more than likely it came from me. And it's a trick. All the bud that I was getting at that time actually came from the shop right down the street from Silmar. There used to be a shop on Woodman Ave, and is it Van Nuys? I just remember the source said that they would go to the shop right there on Woodman in the valley. So all the stuff I was getting was coming from there. But back to my story. So the homie Demon knew that I had a source that was bringing me bud. pretty much anything you put in their hands, or if I just give them the feria, like, hey, here, go get me this, the source would get it. So I'm chilling. Like I said, the homie demon goes home. I'm chilling in my cell. Out of nowhere, they come and get me like, hey, you got a brown phone call. For those who don't know what a brown phone call is, in juvenile hall, they have payphones that you could use, collect calls. But they also have an office phone. It's a brown phone. You dial 9 and then you dial whatever number and it's able to call out. They call it the brown phone call because you get one of those. I believe it was one a week or one a month, something like that. It's a brown phone, the old school phones. So they're like, hey, you got a brown phone call. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what? They're like, you got a brown phone call from your lawyer. I'm like, what? All right, I'm thinking it's really my lawyer. I go and I get on the phone. I'm like, hello? And it's my boy Demon. Hey, if I'm lying, I'm dying, man. Straight up. The homie Demon from Junior Mafia is calling me from the streets. He had went home. Like 2 months went by. He calls me. I'm like, hello? He's like, what's up, my boy? Ooh, it's me, fool. It's Demon. Like, oh, what's up, fool? He's like, hey, fool, you know, I put my white boy voice on, fool, and I told them I was your lawyer. I called the front. I told them to transfer me to Unit Y, and I told them that I needed to speak to my client. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, for real? Yeah. He's like, hey, fool, I'm right here in this G ride. He's like, hey, I got some bomb ass perp, man. He's like, I got some bomb ass perp. He's like, hey, give me the source's number. Like, what? He's like, give me the source's number, bro. I'm gonna go drop it off to him. He's like, you have my word, bro. I'm gonna go drop it off to him. So I give him the number, chop it up with him for a little bit, and then Miss Pope can even vouch for this. You know what I mean? And I'm right there talking, and Miss Pope comes up like, who are you talking to? Like, you know, like, I'm like, Trey, like, hey, you want to talk to her? Like, yeah, here. She could even vouch for that. The homie starts talking to her. Like, oh, she starts laughing. Like, this fool's crazy. You know, like, you guys are crazy. Like, she walks away. I'm right there chopping it up with him. Boom. Dicho y hecho, you know, like, so that ends up happening. And then I didn't hear from my boy. You know what I mean? After that phone call, I didn't hear from him. Like, he ended up talking to the source, because the source ended up telling me, but he didn't make it. He ended up passing away, you know what I mean? And that day, called the source. He was gonna go do some stuff in his hood and then head over there, and then that happened. And around this time, I was already sentenced. So I end up going to the county. A couple months go by, I go to the county. A couple more months go by, I'm in Chino reception. And I actually ran into a couple of people that I was with in juvenile hall right there. And there was one of his homeboys right there. And he ended up telling me that the homie Demon ended up passing away. Like, he ended up getting killed. And that one just threw me for a loop, you know, like, I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, I was thinking like maybe he got pulled over, something happened, you know what I mean? He was in a G ride. So that's what I'm thinking happened, you know what I mean? And to hear that the homie lost his life, you know what I mean? It's just like, damn, you know, just goes to show you, you know what I mean? Life's short, you know what I mean? And that was the last time, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure probably was one of the last phone calls, you know what I mean? Like, if they would have went back and checked his phone, pretty sure the last phone calls was to Silmar, to the source, and then to whoever else he called, you know? Just want to light one up for my boy, man. Rest in peace to homie Demon from Junior Mafia, man. Straight G right there, man. That homie was a straight G, man. Homie had a lot of heart. Not too many people will do type of stuff like that, you know what I mean? For him to go out of his way, he's already on the streets. He didn't have to hit me up. He didn't have to try to go out of his way to bring me that bud. He didn't have to go out of his way to act like he was my lawyer and call, you know what I mean? So those are real solid homies that you run into, man, that I just gotta pay my respects to, man. And my boy Demon from Junior Mafia, my boy, gone, but you'll never be forgotten, homie. Straight up, I'ma keep your name alive, G, cause you was a straight G, dog. Appreciate you guys, man, tapping in and watching this one. Shout out Killer Kush. If you guys want that top of the line song, get on my good people at Killer Kush on Instagram. That's Killer Kush __ 420. Get on my good people at Hate Art Extracts as well. And if you guys want a top of the line pub, shots up to date, paperwork in hand and everything, get at my good people at Frenchie Row Kennels. And get at my good people at Cali Herbs Los Angeles. That's Cali Herbs Official on Instagram for that top of the line wax hash bud as well. And if you guys want it delivered to you from yours truly, get at me on Instagram and I'll bring it to you personally, man. Let's get it.